Hello, English 102 students. Welcome to our course, our B session course, 7.5 weeks, ends at the beginning of December, starts right after fall break. My name is Paulette Stevenson, and I am your English teacher. I have been teaching here at ASU for 8 years. I teach in traditional formats, so face-to-face courses. I also teach hybrid courses, and I teach online. I've been teaching online for probably 6 of the 8 years. I don't primarily teach online, but I do teach a couple of online courses. I reside here in Phoenix with my husband and my 3 children and our 2 dogs. I have interests in cooking and running and lifting weights and obviously reading and writing. So I can't wait to hear more about you when you guys start participating on the introduction discussion board. So this is a writing class, writing, rhetoric. English 102 might be the last writing class or English class that you ever have to take, depending upon your major. So this is not necessarily the capstone, but this course is meant to send you on your way into the academy to write, and then also to get you to think about some practices that'll help you over academic writing, but writing in the real world. So a couple of things that I wanted to reiterate about writing is that there are 2 scholars who think of writing as externalized into an independent artifact that can be examined, revised, or otherwise worked on by the writer, collaborators, and other people. This class definitely capitalizes on the fact that writing is a process. So not only are you learning to send your work out into the world via peer reviewers in this class and myself as an instructor, you're also learning how to assess that writing of other people and yourself. So, I'll get students in peer review who are having a hard time either reading other people's work or understanding other people's comments on their work, and that's not always an easy task. Even myself as an advanced writer who writing articles, getting people's comments back or even sometimes giving comments on other people's articles ends up being really difficult. So realize that that's something that is a learning thing as well. Colin Brook and Allison Carr write about failure. They write about treating failure as something all writers work through rather than a symptom of inadequacy or stupidity. As somebody who myself has produced advanced graduate work for publication, I know that every now and again I just get a writing task that's super hard and that I end up failing at. And it's really hard not to get down on yourself. Like, for instance, if you get a bad grade on a paper in this class, it happens, and it happens more often than you think because some writing tasks are just harder to wrap your head around individually. But it's not necessarily something to think about as you're a bad student. It's just a writing task that you didn't get, and I hope that in this class you learned something from that. Doug Downs sets the stage for building writing practices with revision as part of the workflow. So that's the key here, is that all writing needs to be revised. Anything that you do once, right, and you think it's the perfect thing and it's polished and amazing, you'd be surprised that it's not, right? If the first day we went to work, we were amazing at it, then we would all be experts in our chosen field. But in fact, that's not the case. It's something we work towards, and we revise even the practice of our jobs. Even in my undergraduate work, I worked as a cocktail waitress, right? And my first day, I wasn't very good. I stumbled and I took orders wrong and I carried trays wrong. But by the 4th year of doing it, after a process of revision, if you will, I got better at it. So my goal here is, in this class, is I do kind of centralize revision in the writing process. And I like to teach you guys to develop workflows that anticipate and rely on revision. So if you think that you're just going to write one paper and it's going to be perfect and you're just going to get go ahead and turn it in for an A+. That's not what this class is about. You're going to get comments on your papers from peer reviewers. You're going to get comments on your papers from me. And you should definitely take those and think about how you can incorporate those into those papers. Alternatively, you should start being self-aware of your writing. Like, you should be able to put out a piece of writing, give it a couple days, and return to it and go, yeah, what was I thinking in paragraph 3? So for me, writing is social, it's a process, it's cultural, it's cognitive, it is contextual, it's a practice. It is not an end result. It's rhetorical, and for me, it is lifelong learning. My teaching philosophy is that students learn through engagement. Okay, so if you come to this course and you just want to check a box and you want to leave this course that way, and you're just trying to check the box and do the work, then in my philosophy, it's going to be hard to actually learn and take something from this course, especially considering these writing classes are very workshop intensive, and they involve you participating with each other and really kind of involving yourself with the process. So the students in this class are part of your writing community, and I want you to think that way. They're learning assessment too. They're learning to be able to assess each other's writing too. So take that with a grain of salt. If you don't agree with their comments or you don't like their comments, and you really sit hard with your draft and say, you know what, they said I didn't have a strong thesis, but I really do think it is, then it's fine to disagree with them. But checking out of this writing community isn't okay. And you'll notice when we go over the syllabus in another video that there are really strict attendance requirements on this course. So this course is a week-to-week course. It's not something that you can just go in and you can complete 7 modules and be done with this online course. This takes, somebody leading a discussion, people chiming in. Your writing takes you putting it out in the world and then people reviewing it, myself included. So keep that in mind as you're going through this course, is that engagement and engaging with each other and engaging with the readings and yourself as a writer and being very aware of what you're doing helps you learn. So English 102 as opposed to English 101 is about citation and analysis and research and format and discourse and audience and exigence and stakeholders and stasis and process. Some of those concepts carry over from English 101, but English 102 is pretty distinct in that it does get you to start or more polishedly think about writing for the academy and writing for audiences as well. Now, from here, your job is to watch other videos in the folder entitled Introduction Videos. View all the other materials in the Start Here folder. Definitely pay attention to the syllabus. That is your map for the entire course. It's got the policies, but then it also has due dates. Ask any questions in the Cyber Cafe. That's your space for your classroom community to discuss the practices of the class. Like, hey, I didn't know, does anybody have this book I can borrow? Or, hey, do you guys know if this is due? I'm really unsure about what's going on in the course. That's a good place to get asked and answered by each other. It's kind of what I would call, if you were taking a face-to-face class, the either before class discussions that happen or the after class discussions that happen between students. Now, I can certainly answer these questions, and I will go into the Cyber Cafe if nobody else can answer it. I will go in and answer it. You can also send me an email, but I encourage you to post these sort of generalized questions in the Cyber Cafe because they really help everyone in clarity. You also want to post an introduction. The introduction discussion is in the Start Here folder, and then check the syllabus for any other items due. So I welcome you to English 102, and I'm really excited to be your guide for the next 7.5 weeks into, English 102 and writing as a process. So here we go.